So, hey everyone. So, if you recall in the last video, I mentioned to you that we actually haven't basically reached an important correction zone just yet. And that's why we still need to get there. That's the area around 84,000. But I also showed you what else do we have here? There's a significant concentration of liquidity in this specific area, even at the $87,000 price point. And we're definitely gonna collect it, friends. And Bitcoin will come here for that liquidity. What's happening right now? Right now, we're seeing a sell-off. We can see that it's overbought here, and accordingly, we're seeing a sell-off now. We've almost sold off down to the 47 to 45 level. So it turns out we need to at least reach the area around 30, but it's not a given that we will. We might not even drop that far because these kinds of sell-offs can stop earlier since we have the 0.38 level here, which by Fibonacci is 76,000. This specific price level right here will serve as a very significant and robust area of support for Bitcoin, and there is a high probability that we'll see some kind of bounce from this zone in the near future. I entered a short position here and made a small profit on this move as well, but I've already closed that trade. Now I'll be waiting for further recovery. Right now, I see the following signals. On the CME, once again, there's a gap forming. That's at 79,000. So Bitcoin will definitely return to this level. What does this mean? It means that Bitcoin will be heading back to the 79,000 zone. That is, here we will monitor this level, Fibonacci 0.23. If we can break through 79.700 and consolidate here, then we will get further recovery and coverage. The next gap, which is located exactly at 84 and at which this volume of liquidity is located. I see manipulation here due to what we are currently collecting. Looking at this specific area of long side liquidity, we can actually still climb all the way back up to the previous highs. I don't see any reason for the market to correct downward just yet, because if you take a closer look at the weekly time frame right here, and let's go ahead and add the Bollinger Bands to the chart. If we examine the current market data, we can see that Bitcoin has been trending downward for a very long time without even touching the 20-period moving average on the middle line of the Bollinger Bands indicator. This red line here is the 20-period moving average. When the price breaks through the 20-period moving average, the trend often shifts in the opposite direction. So here, we had a clear downward bearish trend. And now we finally reached a significant breakout point. And right here, we're confirming the 0.38 Fibonacci level, which matches up with the 20-period moving average on the Bollinger. As you can see, we're currently testing this specific level, and then we are recovering because we just had a major significant sell-off on the weekly chart time frame, according to my indicator here. We dropped all the way down to 25. That's already a very significant drop on the weekly time frame. For Bitcoin to fall further, it needs to recover first. And right now, I see that volatility is decreasing. That's why, most likely, we'll keep growing. This will take a few more weeks, after which Bitcoin will correct. So after the recovery, somewhere around here, we'll see a correction. So far, everything is going according to plan. I'll be waiting for further recovery in Ethereum, but the only thing is, it's getting more and more interesting here. Ethereum is much weaker, and I've mentioned this before, because liquidity is flowing out. By the way, let's take a look at the liquidity outflow for Bitcoin. Everything's fine with Bitcoin. We can see there's no outflow here, but with Ethereum, we see significant weakness and a drop below the 0.23 level. At the same time, Bitcoin still hasn't dropped below its levels. So 0.38 here on Bitcoin acts as support. By the way, let's measure from here. Yeah, we can see that from this zone if we take it from here. It turns out we got a reversal from the 0.38 Fibonacci level, and we dropped below the zero point 0.5 level. All we can do now is test it one more time, the 0.61 level, and make a false breakout of a 0.38 level. I don't think it'll be a strong breakout, but we should reach the area around 85,000 where the gap is. We have to. So 84 and accordingly where all this liquidity is located. And as you can see, there's a lot more liquidity now because of the drop that happened here. And naturally, right now, everyone is expecting Bitcoin to keep going down. But that's not going to happen because it has held above the 20-week moving average. That's a very strong signal for recovery. So I'll keep watching for growth and wait for a signal to correct. I am definitely not going to go long right now because there is a very extensive accumulation currently taking place right here. You can see this is a choppy market where you could lose everything. It was the same here as well. A recovery, a long recovery. Honestly, all of this seems to be very inconvenient for trading because during the market's accumulation phase, regardless of whether it's long or short, the movement wipes everything out, and you make money here, not on this move, but on this drop right here. That's why they say if the market is falling, you shouldn't go long, and if the market is rising, you shouldn't go short. Because you can see the kind of impulses we make, right? We break through all the levels and go down. You make much more than you would otherwise. Even though I made some money here and here, it was just a small amount. Yeah, you can do that if you see a good signal. It's just that I can see it very clearly. The signal's on my indicator, and quite frequently they tend to perform much better for these shorts. That's why here I'll be waiting. I am looking for a potential breakout scenario of the 83 level followed by a significant corrective move back down. So this is the specific market movement that I am looking to capture. Why do I think this move will happen? Because once again, the price of gold is currently undergoing a correction in this area. Right here on gold, there's a buyer. What that really means is we're definitely going to put it to the test once more. Only after that can we begin to discuss the possibility of gold starting to recover. Even though right now, according to my indicator, it's in the 50 zone. This means that gold could still make exactly the same move down. That's 24% from the current point. 24%, that comes out to $400 per ounce. With a significant drop like this, we are gonna see, again, according to my indicator, some downward pressure on the price right here. And we'll see this blue line go down. A drop to around 88 or even 85,000 for Bitcoin. Bitcoin won't be able to reach that level. With that kind of overload, it won't be able to grow and it won't be able to give a strong upward impulse. It'll have to correct. And right here, we'll scoop up all this liquidity. And that's why I say that after this recovery, we'll head here. Right now, a lot of investors are expecting Bitcoin to drop, but I think it's still too early because there are these factors at play. There are these factors that haven't been addressed yet. This short liquidity has increased, and now the market maker understands why it needs to move upward. Next, there was a slight unloading here. They got liquidity here, and now they're going to collect it. That's my assumption and forecast for the near future. So, guys, what I'm basically expecting is the same kind of recovery. Regardless of the immediate outcome, a recovery to 79 is key, meaning we should either see a significant breakout move above the 79 level, or, accordingly, it will simply be a repetition of another shoulder pattern forming on the chart. And this is exactly where I'll be watching closely to see just how strong Bitcoin really is and whether there will be any positive news to support it. If the market leans this way, then if that neckline is eventually broken, we can expect that Bitcoin will likely continue its downward trajectory. That is, once the neckline's broken. So that's around the 75,000 area. That would already be a significant and formidable level to break through. So even if you take a closer look right here, that's going to be approximately the 75 to 74,000 level. This is the last 0.61 Fibonacci level, and if Bitcoin breaks through it, it will keep going down. But it's still too early to talk about that, so I'll keep watching. I'll keep following Bitcoin's price and, accordingly, wait for it. and this zone around 84,000, maybe 85, and even a liquidity grab higher up at 87. There should be a noticeable spike in activity, a significant seller who begins aggressively dumping the asset at a rapid pace. So, we wait. This isn't the end yet.